All right, guys, good morning. Welcome to Free Training Thursdays. My name is Brandon. We're getting rolling today with CRM and maximizing client connections. There's quite a few things that we're going to be discussing today, so hopefully you guys are ready for some information. There's just a couple points that we're going to be looking into, but it's a lot of info, so I'm excited to get you guys familiar with this because this is a part of the system that actually a lot of offices end up avoiding. So we're gonna really dive into this today. Here's a couple points. Number one is custom contact reports. Getting you guys familiar with what they are, how to save them, how to use them. It's not always obvious. Some people don't even know that they're there, and it can really help with the connection between you and your clients. And so we're going to discuss some referral reports, contact sense reports, and definitely how to save reports for future use. Those are just a few of the things, and hopefully you guys can glean from those examples and apply it to things that are meaningful for you. We're going to dive in a little bit to form letters, talking about mass mailing and emailing campaigns, the ability to set up your own form letters, how to use different pieces of information within OfficeTools to get those letters out to the appropriate people, all that kind of stuff we're going to talk about today. We're going to touch a little bit on labels. That's not going to be too much because it is pretty straightforward, but we are going to get you familiar with how to print labels out of OfficeTools and kind of go with that. And then contact groups. We actually added a lot of functionality around contact groups in the reporting side of things. So using that, if you aren't currently doing that, is going to become really, really, really good for you. Contact groups are now available on almost every single report that we have in OfficeTools, and it's going to be a very powerful thing for you guys to set up. So we're going to touch on that, how to do it, how to make it work, and get you guys familiar with contact groups as a whole. After this session, if you guys need any additional help, we just want to make sure that you know how to get a hold of us. For any training or support, please visit us at abacusnext.com/support. Just a couple of housekeeping things here before we get started. And since you guys are signed up for these webinars, hopefully you know how to access the webinar page on the Abacus Next website. But if you don't, it's abacusnext.com/webinars. And this is also where you can go to see the webinars that are upcoming, access if you didn't know all of our previous webinars. So you have a lot of tools on that page. If you have staff that you want to listen in on specific topics, or even just kind of mapping out when and what you guys are going to be sitting in on, in the upcoming pre-training Thursdays, please visit that website and get some good information there. You can also email us directly at the OfficeTools side. Our email is training@officetools.com. Just as a precursor, we are experiencing a pretty high volume of emails right now, so the turnaround time isn't as quick as we would like, but we are working on that. We're putting some plans in place to get you guys support as quickly as possible, but just understand that right now we're dealing with a very high volume. A lot of people are interested in getting to know the product, and not everybody's familiar with the other tools that we have, like these webinars and stuff like that. So please do reach out and training@officetools.com, and we'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can. And you guys should be able to get your questions answered there. And just I wanted to appreciate you guys. Thank you for attending the webinar today. I hope that you guys enjoy the topics that we're going to be covering. I hope it's new for you, and I hope you guys can glean some good information out of it. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump into OfficeTools and get started on the topics and get you guys ready to go. So within OfficeTools, the first thing that we're going to discuss today is the custom contact reports. So inside the reports section of OfficeTools, and hopefully everybody knows where that piece is, okay? There's different types of reports that I'm sure you guys have seen. Billing, contact reports, project reports, schedule reports, staff reports, they're all inside of here. Most of the time, most of you are probably using billing reports and project reports. Not a lot of people dive into the other ones. They don't really know what's in there. They might have glanced in there, looked around for something specific and not really found something. But what we're going to be focusing on today is the contact report section. So we're going to jump in there. And inside of here, there's a lot of different reports. And if you aren't familiar, go in there, run them, look at them. But what we're going to be focusing on for today's session is this one here that says custom field. A lot of people don't know about this and don't know how to use it because it isn't a preset report. This is actually something that you guys get to build. Okay. Now, don't get too excited. There are not like connections in billing here or that type of thing, but on the CRM side, again, which is what this webinar is for, is maximizing client connection through the CRM. This can get you a lot of good information. You can have customized contact lists. You can, pull in email addresses for mail merges. There's a lot of things that you can do inside of here that really help with the CRM side of things. So in here, under the columns section, you guys will notice that you have a drop down of different columns that are available. And these are controlling what is actually showing up on your report. Okay. So again, remember, you're building this from scratch, so you have to tell us what information you want to display. So if I go in and I look at the columns, I can choose which information I want to show up on my report. And as you can see, there's a lot of things inside of here. Okay. Things like names, work codes. You can use your custom fields that you have on your front page, fiscal year end, date of birth, the industries that the clients are working for, if you're populating that in. There's a lot of stuff that's in here. Last invoice amount, right? You can build the report that you're looking for using these fields. Okay. There's no calculations, there's no math problems here. It's just displaying the columns that we want to see. So let's just say, for example, in the first option that we talked about in our slideshow, we're setting up referral reports. So just to kind of focus in our efforts here so you can see kind of how this would work, we're going to build a referral report really fast. So what we would do is, obviously the main piece of information that we would want would be our client name. So we're going to go in here and we're going to find our client name, and sometimes it's not as direct file as, if you guys aren't familiar with the terminology, file as, print as, you guys can go in there and find that. You would choose that column and then hit the plus sign, and you'll notice that it adds that column in there. And the next thing that we want is we want to go ahead and print out one of our phone numbers there. So we're going to grab our home phone and put that in there. And let's just say we also want client since. So we want to see how long they've been in contact with us inside of OfficeTools. So we're going to grab this option here that says contact since, and we're going to add that in there. Okay. And then last but not least, to set this off, we're going to go ahead and choose our option for referral right here on referred by. Get that. So now you can scroll through and see the different columns that you have available on this specific report that we're building. Now, on top of the columns that we want to display, we can also set up filters, because reports are not really useful if I can't use a couple of things to filter down to a specific group of contacts that I want to see. So in this case, maybe I want to come in here and add in the referred by filter, so I can use that to choose different people that I want to see. If I have a specific attorney who's referring me a lot of contacts, or like I'm working, hand in hand with a marketing company, I can see how many people are coming from that marketing company. So you would just choose right here who you want to filter down as. Now, just for the sake of this, I'm not going to fill anything in here, so we can hopefully get some information on this report. Okay. But once you do that, you can add in as many columns as you'd like. You can add in as many filters as you like, and then you can run this report. And once it comes up, since this is the first time we've built this, it takes a little bit longer. All right, pulled up here on my other screen. You can see inside of here our custom report. It has our file as name, the phone number, how long they've been in contact for, and then who referred them to us. Just like that. All the information that we want built into this report, and we have this all saved. So now when it comes down to it, if we want to save that report, that way every time you want to come in here and run this referral report, you don't have to build out all the columns and all the filters. You can basically save this report by hitting the plus sign up here in the toolbar. So if you hit the plus sign, we can call this referral report and hit save. And now inside of OfficeTools, you can see that that referral report has been added successfully. And then down here, we can always just come in here and it'll have the same filters and columns that we've set up available for us right here. So this is for any type of report that you guys are looking for. Any combination of data, as far as the columns that are available, any filters that you're looking for to isolate what you're seeing, all of that can be used here. So you want to make sure, again, that you guys are looking at this from that point of view. You'll also notice, just so that when we tie it together, you guys could see it, contact group is also a part of this filter. So again, utilizing that contact group when we get to that point is going to be really, really, really important. It's a very powerful thing that we've made even more powerful recently. So you can see that contact group is right there. So that's your custom contact reports, making it available for you guys to go in there, build out the columns that you want to see, utilize certain filters to get information for reports that we might not already have in the program. A lot of people don't know about that. They aren't sure how it's worked, how it's used. The plus signs and the columns and the filters and stuff like that aren't directly obvious, but just understand columns isn't the information that will display on the report, and filters allow you to isolate into a specific subgroup of your contacts. So that's a major piece of CRM, because now you can generate lists. You can use those lists for mail merges. You can take those email addresses and move them into Outlook if you guys are doing that, or any other type of software you guys are using. Okay. So it's a great tool. Now, we're also going to dive in here to form letters and discuss some mass mailing / emailing and how you can run those campaigns within OfficeTools. And this is something that I get a lot of questions on as a trainer here at OfficeTools. It's something that comes up pretty frequently. And while it's very functional and it has a lot of good features, understand that this isn't a word processor. This is just meant for basic mass mailings and basic mass email campaigns. So how do you access them? So to generate form letters and start the process, you can go under reports and then form letters. And you have 3 different options: appointment confirmations, contact letters, and project letters. Okay. Appointment confirmations are straightforward. You choose a date range, they send out an email, or you can send out a letter to confirm the appointments that that group of clients has for that date range. Nothing special to that. Not a lot of customization needed or involved in that piece. Project letters are very specific. The merge fields that are available are based around project, and I'll kind of show you that. But contact letters are going to be the most used version of this because they're the most customizable and they have the most available merge fields of the 3 options. So we're going to focus our efforts into contact letters today. So click on that. Maybe I didn't. Yes, I did. There we go. Okay, it's just taking its time today. I guess for OfficeTools, the program, its Monday is on Thursday, so it's a little sluggish. So here's our form letter section. And although it seems like a daunting window, it's a very specific process that we're going to go through to get this to work for us. Number 1 is up here where it says form letter selection. There's an ellipsis button right to the right of that drop down. This is going to be what you access to create your new form letter. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to open up a window where I can now see the form letters that I have. All of my options are over here. I can also come in here and add a new one. If I added a new one, I would change the title, right? I would plug in what I'm going to call it. And then down here at the bottom is where I insert all of my body. This is where I come in here and I type out the letter. I can use existing merge fields to make sure that this is all making sense. It's pulling in client-specific information. Even though I'm probably going to do this in mass, right? I'm going to be sending this out to a group of people. It will still seem customized to that client. So just as an example, I'm going to go ahead and choose one of our options in here, new business. You can see it says, Dear Salutation. And salutation is a field over here on your contacts tab. So on and so forth down the line. We'll be sending you an organizer for your tax return for this specific person. First name is a field. Social Security number pulls from the Social Security number area inside of OfficeTools, and then so on and so forth. So you can see you built a letter, you typed it in, you chose your merge fields from your drop-down menu here. Any merge field will pull that contact specific information into this letter when you send it. Okay? You can build out whatever you want. You can have as many form letters as you want. They can be kind of strung across whatever type of topics you're looking for. An organizer like this, extensions, right? Making sure that they get their 8879s back in, whatever it might be. You can use this as a mass communication tool, which is the whole point of this webinar, is discussing and getting you guys familiar with ways to make sure that you're maximizing that client connection. So don't do your mass mailings in Outlook if you can do them here. It'll send via Outlook and you'll still be able to track those emails, but start it here because we can merge in a lot of information automatically. So one last time, in case that wasn't clear, the way that you guys can get into that window is, first of all, going up to reports, going to form letters, choosing contact letters. Once you're in contact letters, go ahead and just click on the ellipsis button located here where it says form letter selection, and that'll get you into the edit window where you're able to choose your letter, okay? Change more, edit more, add more options. This is where you guys are managing those different letters. Now, once you've built your letter, you've gone in there, you've typed it all up, right? Nothing to that, just basic word processing. You put in your merge fields where appropriate. Then you can come in here and you would want to choose that letter out of your list at the top where it says form letter selection. Okay, so we set them up right here, but this is where we want to make sure that the one we're looking to send out right now is chosen in our drop-down menu. Once we've chosen that, we can come down here and basically start using our filters to get into which specific subgroup of clients I want to send this to. So I can choose contact types. So if I just want to send this to prospects, right, if it's a marketing campaign. I can choose an entity type if this is just my individual prospects I want to send this to. Over here on the right, client rating, referred by, time zone. These are our custom fields, so you guys should be familiar. Custom 1, Custom 2, and Custom 5 are drop-downs. That's why you only have 3 on this menu, even though there's 5 total. But you guys can see you can use specific pieces of information here to generate a letter. Even something like balances older than a specific date, right? So you can send out basically a collection notice to these clients that have balances older than 90 days or 120 days. You can start managing client communication and connection. Once you've selected your letter, you've plugged in the subgroup of contacts that you want. At that point, you're either printing it or emailing it from OfficeTools. So print obviously is your icon right here, upper left, right beneath appointment, and then your envelope icon is going to be how you email them out. So building your letters right here is the hardest part. People don't want to do it. They don't know where it is. They don't know how to get it. But this is basically what you do. You click on that button and you type that letter out. Any communication that you're looking to have, you're looking to send out in mass, you can do this. Now remember, this is more for mass information, so you're not really going to be doing this on a client-by-client level. That would just go straight through Outlook in our opinion. But anything that you're going to send to multiple people, this is what you use. Now, there is a question that comes up a lot when it comes to this, and I do want to make sure that you guys are aware of this as you guys are thinking of how to apply this in your firm. The biggest question that comes up as far as form letters are concerned is about attachments and how they can attach this or how they can attach that. And in OfficeTools currently, we just don't do it. So while you guys are getting into this and making sure that you guys are utilizing form letters, understand that the body of the letter itself is what we're sending. We're not generating an email with an attachment. So just keep that in mind. That way any future questions are answered through that. That is something we're looking into. But right now, it's just a basic email blast or letter blast that you're looking to shoot out to the client. No attachments currently. Okay, just wanted to jump in front of the train there and make sure that you guys know that ahead of time. Getting in here and getting familiar with the form letter section is going to be important for you guys. Come in here, take a look, get familiar with how they work, get familiar with the different groupings. But to kind of segue us in nicely, we're going to jump to contact groups before we go to labels. The contact groups is also available here on the form letter section. Now, the contact groups used to be pretty straightforward. Not a lot of functionality outside of the form letter section. The contact groups were originally designed specifically for your CRM components, but I do want to bring these up and talk about them in more detail because now they're actually a lot more powerful, as I've indicated a couple times in this session. When I'm on trainings with clients and I'm dealing with people who have a lot of questions on reporting and stuff like that, the constant question comes up about a lot of different things. I have an owner that owns multiple businesses, and I want to be able to run a billing report that shows me all of those companies isolated down, so I can see all the money that ABC company owes across all of their companies. Right. Well, we didn't used to have anything really for that. Right. If you're not using Bill to Contacts, then you didn't really have that information, right? Or you're looking to track projects as a group. There's a, business owner has a couple different businesses going on, got tax notice. How do we get all of those things into one area so that I can manage all of the work that this one group of people is managing, right? We didn't really have anything for that without you manually selecting it. So what I want to show you and make sure that you guys are aware of is inside of here. Okay. If you go to reports and you go to billing reports, contact reports, project reports, staff reports, right? Any report inside of OfficeTools, you should now see a filter in most of these reports specifically labeled contact groups. And inside of here, you can choose any group that you have built to filter your reports down by. So if you guys are trying to run things like if your business, a business owner has multiple businesses, how do we combine all of their billing into one report? This is now the answer. Okay. It's an answer not just for reporting, but also for form letters, mass email communications, basically any subgroup of contacts that you want to have. You can now use contact groups as not just a way of communicating with the clients, but also using that specific group across all of your reports. If you go to project reports, you'll see inside of here, contact groups, right? If you go to contact reports, a lot of times inside of here, you'll see contact groups. The contact groups have become one of our most powerful features. And the sad thing is that not a lot of people know how to access them and get them set up for your needs. Okay. So that's what we're going to dive into here. Now, contact groups, you probably know, you can probably think of a couple right now off the top of your head that you would want to have. But let this come organically as well. You don't need to sit down and try to come up with every single thing as far as what your contact group should be. You can let it come organically. Let it, as a need arises, build a new contact group. You are not limited to the number of contact groups that you can have. So you don't need to sit down and come up with 16 different options and know that those 16 are all you're ever going to get. If you need next year, a new thing comes out through one of the governing agencies and you need to make sure that you got a group specified for this one little niche tax thing or whatever it might be, build a contact group for it. So you can start reporting on it, sending mass communications on it, all that stuff. And the way that we're going to get to that is actually under the Contacts tab. Right here in the toolbar, you'll see Contact Settings. This is just the most direct way. If you click on that, you'll see Contact Groups right under those gears. Now, when you click on Contact Groups under the gears, it is technically related to the contact that you have selected at that point. So you can see, if you ever wanted to see what contact groups a client's associated to, this would show you. On the left are all of your available contact groups, but on the right are all of the ones that are attached to this contact unspecified, right? In true OfficeTools fashion, the left is the options, the right is what's chosen, and you can add or remove from here. Okay, just as a quick kind of rundown on that. But what we're going to start with is actually defining our contact groups, showing you how you are going to make which groups you want. So again, under the Contacts tab, under the gears, choose Contact Groups as your option. That's going to pull you into this window. Then choose this option here that says Define Contact Groups. When we do that, we are no longer related to the client. Now we have a list here of all of the contact groups that us as a firm have available for us to use when it comes down to this option. So this is where you will add new contact groups. If you need something for a holiday newsletter, or you need something for a Christmas card or whatever it might be, depending upon how you guys are looking to market to your clients. You can come in here and add those things right here. So if we wanted to come in here and say, we'll put in here holiday letter. Okay. Now that we have a new contact group for holiday letter. If you wanted to come in here and say New Jersey sales, right, New Jersey sales tax, just as an example, if somebody could type, that'd be great. All right, New Jersey sales tax. Okay, now we got a contact group for New Jersey sales tax. That's specific, right? If you want to make a contact group for people that have winter taxes, do that. Any group of clients that you guys see fit that you might use at some point for reporting or for mass mailings, you can build those specific groups here. Once you've built the group, you'll notice that your list of available contact groups has grown, and now you can assign those to a contact. Now, what a lot of people ask me at this point is, do I really have to go through all of my contacts and assign each group to them manually? The question is kind of, but not really. You can actually choose the option here, down here where you have defined contact groups. There's a couple options. You want to choose this one that says assign by contact group. That way, you choose your group up here in the upper left-hand corner, and you can go through and add in the contacts all at once that are part of this specific contact group. That way, you don't have to go into Andrew Barnum and add in all of Andrew's contact groups to him first. You can go through and say, all right, 1040s, here's what we got. All of these people are associated to this specific contact group, and you can go through and get that done. You can drop it down, move on to accounting, go through and grab all of the contacts that have accounting, right? The same principle. And that will allow you, again, the freedom to use that on reports, to use that on mass communication. All of it's available for you at that point. So make sure to dive into this. Explore it a little bit. Build a couple contact groups. See how they're going to flow through on reporting. Go run a project report with a contact group chosen for specific groups of people, and just start seeing how everything's connecting, because I guarantee you, you're going to run across a situation where this contact group is going to solve it from top to bottom. Okay, so keep this in your back pocket. Dive into it. If you guys are already seeing ways that you can implement this, make sure to just do that. Get it in there. Start using it right now. Don't wait. Don't wait until tax season or your busy season to try to start doing this. Just think about it now, right? Get some of them in there. Start using it so that when you are in the middle of your busy season, you guys can easily create new groups and easily solve issues that arise by using that. Okay. So I just wanted to get you guys familiar with contact groups and form letters, because they are great, great, great tools of mass communication. And the last thing that we have for you today, as far as maximizing this client connection, is labels. If you guys are printing things and you need to send things out to a client, there is a way inside of OfficeTools to create a label and print them out. And the way that you're going to do that is back under reports, and you'll notice that you have labels and envelopes right here. Number one option is going to be customize. And inside of here, you're going to basically add a new label. You can name it. We'll say, just for example, 1040 contacts here. Then you choose your label type, and there's a lot of different ones to choose from here. You can see most of them are going to be Avery's. Okay? But you can do a custom label and build your own dimensions. There we go. I totally had a word loss there. So custom label allows you to build your own dimensions, or you can choose an Avery label. And then basically right here, you can insert your merge fields, so you can get client-specific information without having to type all of that in. So let's just say, for example, I want the address block in there, and then I also want the contact name in there. So we'll go down here and we'll choose print as our option. And then you want to make sure to format this as you would want it to print on your label. Once you have all of that, you're ready to go. Just click close. And then if you go up to the report section, labels and envelopes, and hit print, now you can come in here and choose your item. So we can say 1040 contacts, for example, entity type individual. and then we can print that out. Now, there's two options that come up here that a lot of people think are the same, and this is something that actually you need to pay attention to because it's really helpful. So how many copies of each of the label would you like? Okay. So if you're doing this for like folders, right? So client folders, you're going to put them in a file cabinet. You can print two, one for the section, one for the top, whatever you want. You can say, I want 2 copies of each label. Or you can just do one. If this is for mass mailings and mass communication, you can just do one. Okay. And then this is going to say how many labels would you like to skip. And this is important. This isn't asking you how many clients you want to skip. If you're running pages of Avery labels, this will allow you to make sure that you're skipping the appropriate numbers. You can continue using your used pages. So if you're 9 labels in, then you can say skip 9 and it'll start on the 10th. So that's something that a lot of people don't know about on that. All right. And that's basically labels. Not too much involved there. You just basically need to have the label built, and that's all there is to it. I know we're right at our time. I have one last question before we hang up here. When sending out mass emails, will the Outlook default signature go into it? Yes, it should, because it's sending from the local email. So if you are doing mass email campaigns, realize that OfficeTools is not sending the email. It is going out via Outlook. So your signature, your formatting, your templates, all of that should apply to your Outlook emails that are being sent out. Okay. Again, hopefully you guys got some information. If you have more questions or you need anything else answered, please email us, training@officetools.com. We'd be more than happy to help. Thanks again for tuning in to Free Training Thursdays. Keep in mind the upcoming schedule. Tune in for a topic that you guys want some more information on, and hopefully we see you guys soon. Thanks again.